The pregnant woman's eyes widened in shock as the German Shepherd continued its persistent barking at her. She nervously stepped backward, one hand protectively cradling her stomach. "Please stop him," she begged, desperately glancing around. But Rex refused to back down. He emitted a low growl, his muscles tensed, his gaze fixed upon her as if she was concealing something dangerous. Mark exchanged glances with the other security personnel. He understood that Rex wasn't acting without reason. The dog was specially trained to identify threats, substances, and explosives. But this situation felt different. Was it possible she was transporting something illegal? Did she pose a threat? A nearby officer, a tall individual with a stern expression, stepped forward. "Ma'am, we need to ask you some questions," he stated firmly. The woman's complexion paled. "I don't understand. I haven't done anything wrong." Her voice quivered, fear beginning to overtake her. Travelers whispered amongst themselves, their eyes darting between the woman and the barking canine. Some appeared suspicious, others concerned. Mark hesitated. Was this simply a misunderstanding, or was Rex detecting something invisible to everyone else? Trusting his partner's instincts, he made his decision. "We need to bring her in for additional screening," he announced. Whatever was happening, they needed answers quickly. Two uniformed officers gently but firmly guided the pregnant woman toward a private security examination room. Her breathing was rapid and shallow, her hands trembling as she held her belly. "Please," she implored, her voice barely audible. "I don't know what's happening." Mark followed closely behind with Rex, who still wouldn't calm down. The dog's intense eyes remained fixed on the woman, his body tense like a coiled spring. Mark had never witnessed him being this persistent before. Inside the examination room, one officer carefully inspected the woman's possessions, while another prepared to conduct a body scan. "Do you have any medical conditions we should be aware of?" a female officer inquired, her tone gentler. The woman shook her head. "No. I mean, I'm 7 months pregnant, that's all." Her voice wavered with uncertainty. Meanwhile, outside the room, Rex paced anxiously, whining and scratching at the door. Mark frowned. This behavior was unusual. If she wasn't carrying anything prohibited, then what had Rex detected? An uncomfortable silence descended upon the room. Suddenly, the woman gasped and clutched her abdomen, an expression of alarm crossing her face. Something was seriously wrong. The room fell silent as the woman's face contorted in agony. She released a sharp gasp, her hands gripping her stomach. "Something's wrong," she whispered, her voice trembling. Perspiration formed on her forehead as her breathing became labored. Mark's instincts activated. "Get medical help immediately," he ordered one of the officers. The woman's knees buckled as she collapsed into a chair, her body shaking. Her panic was evident, but there was something else too. Pure fear. Rex whined and scratched more urgently at the door, his typical alertness transforming into distress. Mark had never seen his canine partner react this way. The officer who had been examining her bag stepped back, momentarily paralyzed. "Is she going into labor?" he muttered, eyes wide with uncertainty. The woman violently shook her head. "No, no, it's too early," she gasped, wincing as another sharp pain struck her. Tears welled in her eyes. "Please help me." A medical team rushed in, pushing through the security personnel. The lead paramedic knelt beside her. "Ma'am, stay with me. We need to get you to a hospital right away." Mark's heart raced. This was no longer about security. It was about saving 2 lives. The paramedics worked quickly, checking the woman's vital signs as she moaned in pain. "Her pulse is irregular," one of them murmured. "We need to move now." As they prepared to transport her, Rex suddenly lunged forward, sniffing the air with renewed intensity. His ears flattened, and he emitted a low, uneasy growl. Mark's stomach tightened. Something was still wrong. Just then, one of the paramedics noticed something unusual. "Wait," he said, his eyes narrowing. He carefully pressed his hand against the woman's abdomen, feeling for movement. A moment later, he froze. This isn't just premature labor. Something else is happening. The woman's breathing became ragged, her face ashen. Tears streamed down her cheeks. "I don't know what's wrong," she whispered, her voice breaking. "Please just help my baby." Mark clenched his fists. Rex had sensed danger before anyone else. But what exactly had he detected? The answer arrived in a chilling moment. One of the paramedics turned to Mark, his expression grave. "There's an internal hemorrhage. If we don't get her into surgery immediately, both she and the baby won't survive." Mark felt his blood run cold. Rex hadn't been mistaken. He had been trying to save their lives. The airport erupted into chaos as the paramedics rushed the woman toward the ambulance, their voices sharp with urgency. Mark and Rex ran alongside them, weaving through stunned passengers who had stopped to watch. The woman's breaths were shallow now, her eyes fluttering as if she were losing consciousness. "Stay with us," one of the paramedics urged, gripping her hand. "We're almost there." Rex, normally composed and steady, whined anxiously, his eyes never leaving the woman. It seemed as if he understood the gravity of the situation. Mark felt emotion rise in his throat. Had it not been for Rex, they never would have known something was wrong in time. As the paramedics lifted her into the ambulance, the woman turned her head slightly, her lips trembling. "Thank you," she whispered, looking directly at Rex. The German Shepherd responded with a soft, comforting whimper, his body still tense with anticipation. Mark gave him a reassuring pat. "You did good, buddy," he murmured. The ambulance doors closed firmly, and within seconds, it sped away, sirens blaring. But as Mark watched it disappear into the distance, one question still troubled him. Would she and her baby make it in time? Hours passed, each one feeling painfully long. Mark sat outside the hospital with Rex by his side, his fingers absently stroking the dog's fur. The German Shepherd had finally calmed, though his ears perked up at every passing sound. Mark understood why. Rex was waiting for news, just as he was. Finally, the door opened and a doctor approached. His expression was unreadable at first, making Mark's stomach tighten. But then a small smile appeared. "She made it," he said. "Both mother and baby are stable." Mark exhaled deeply, realizing he had been holding his breath. "Thank God," he muttered, glancing down at Rex. The dog's tail wagged slightly, as if he too understood the relief in the air. The doctor paused before continuing. "There was an undetected internal rupture," he explained. "If she hadn't received medical attention when she did, she and the baby wouldn't have survived." He shook his head in amazement. "I don't know how your dog sensed it, but he saved her life." Just then, a nurse stepped forward holding a note from the mother. It contained only a few words, but they made Mark's throat tighten. "Tell the dog he's my angel." If you were touched by this remarkable story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Activate the notification bell so you never miss an extraordinary tale like this one. Stay tuned for more heartwarming and incredible stories.